Hello, my name's Peter and I'm going to read you a story about a young boy called Samuel. And Samuel lived many hundreds of years ago, and many years before Jesus was born, in fact, and he lived in Palestine. And at the time that I'm telling you the story, he was living under the care of an old man called Eli, who was a priest. And he was almost blind, so he couldn't see very much at all. And one day Samuel was asleep in his bed, and the Lord spoke to him. And Samuel said, "I'm here." But he ran to Eli and said, "I'm here, you call me." He woke him up, in fact, in his bed. And Eli wasn't very pleased about it at all. And he said, "I didn't call you, go back to bed." So Samuel went back to bed again. And the Lord called him again and said, "Samuel." And he heard the voice very clearly. And he went off to Eli, and again Eli said, I didn't call you. Go back to bed, go back to sleep, stop waking me up." Samuel did not yet know the Lord, and the Lord had not spoken directly to him until now. The Lord said to Samuel and called him for the third time, and Samuel got up from his bed and went to Eli, who was lying in bed fast asleep, and he said, "I'm here, you call me." Then Eli realized that the Lord was calling him. So he told Samuel this. He said, "Go back to bed. If he calls you again, say, 'Speak, Lord, I am your servant and I'm listening.'" So Samuel went back and lay down in his bed and started to go to sleep. And the Lord came and stood there in the quietness, in the silence of the night. And the Lord called him as he had done before. And he said, "Samuel, Samuel." And Samuel then said, "Speak, Lord, I am your servant and I'm listening." And the Lord said to Samuel, "See, I'm going to do something to Israel, and it's going to be a shock to everybody." And then he went on to tell him, Samuel, what this was. And in the morning, Samuel went and saw Eli, but he was afraid to tell Eli what had happened or what had been said. But Eli said to him, "Samuel, my son." And Samuel said, "Yes, I'm here," because Eli was not very, couldn't see very well, of course. And Eli asked him, "What did the Lord say to you? Don't hide it from me." So Samuel told Eli everything. He didn't hide anything from him. Then Eli said, "He is the Lord. Let him do what he thinks is best." And the Lord was with Samuel as he grew up. And the Lord did not let any of Samuel's messages fail to come true. Then all of Israel, all the way across the land, across Palestine, from Dan to Beersheba, knew that Samuel was a prophet of God. He spoke forth God's words to everybody. And the Lord continued to show himself to Samuel at Shiloh. That was a place in Palestine. He also showed himself to Samuel through his word, through reading some of the scriptures. So that's the story about Samuel, aged 7 or 8. And the message really is to listen out to what God may say to you, because he speaks directly to each of us, whatever our age. So it may be when you're asleep, when you're awake, but listen out to what God may speak to you about. And then you can say, as Samuel did, "Lord, I am your servant, I'm listening."